The next one is Dr. Mario. Here he is.
Dr. Mario! Ready? Go!
Dr. Mario from Dr. Mario. Yes, there is a game where Mario is a doctor. It is a puzzle game where you... It's kind of like Tetris. Except in Dr. Mario, the goal is to get rid of the viruses. Instead of, you know, clearing blocks. So, an interesting thing about not just Dr. Mario, but Mario in general is that he has a crazy amount of occupations. Is it all gonna be team battles? This is gonna be hard to talk about. Because I got focused on not dying. Let me try to remember. Like, throughout the years of Mario's history, he has a lot of outfits representing his quote-unquote occupations. He was a mad scientist, he was an artist.
Go!
Yeah, it's gonna be team battles. Oh god. He is a tennis player. Actually, he plays a bunch of sports. The Mario series in general does a lot of weird stuff. But Mario himself has gotten so many freaking outfits. So aside from Mario's wide occupation, the Dr. Mario series, as I mentioned, it's a puzzle game. It began on the... Was it the NES or the SNES? My guess would be the SNES because it's a very colorful game, but it might be on the NES because it is a very old franchise. Well, anyways, Dr. Mario has had a crap ton of games, believe it or not. Beginning with the NES or SNES, then it had a... Was it was it a GameCube game? It had a Game Boy version, I think. It also had a Wii version. And even Luigi had his version of Dr. Mario, aka Dr. Luigi. And throughout the Mario series, there will be references to Dr. Mario, aka the viruses themselves. A good example would be Mario and Luigi, where you can fight the viruses themselves in a college, I think it was a medical college in the Bean Bean Kingdom. That sounds incredibly weird what I just said. And the last game they made, I think, was on the Wii U. Which was it Wii U? It was either Wii, Wii U, or the 3DS. One of those three. It's probably the 3DS. Because obviously the Wii U was a dying console, whereas the 3DS was continuing. So it would not be surprising if they decide to just do it on the 3DS. Marks, colors, marks. Damn it. Oh my god, he's so slow. If you don't know, the difference between Dr. Mario is that Dr. Mario has more power, but he has less speed compared to Mario. He was introduced in Melee as a clone character, because Melee was a severely rushed game.
Continue.
Take it. Probably not gonna get a 9.9. Like, it says the tickets doesn't affect difficulty, but it probably does.
Wow! Incredible! Congratulations!
I don't remember your name.
3,
Richter.
1.
Richter Belmont. Okay, chill, Richter. Next up is an extremely popular Pokemon, Greninja.
Greninja. Ready? Go!
Greninja was first introduced in the 6th generation of Pokemon, aka the Kalos region. It is a starter Pokemon you can receive in Pokemon X and Y. This is a very speedy character, so it's going to be a little hard for me to control. So, yep, Gen 6 Kalos region. It is a starter that I actually use myself. When it comes to what starters I pick, honestly, I have no idea what my criteria was when I first began. When I first began playing Pokemon. I think my criteria was whatever looked cute, probably. My first starter was Turtwig. My second starter was Tepig. And the reason why I chose that one was because I had two friends who also had the game, and they picked Snivy and Oshawott. And we decided to trade each other the starter whenever we can. So I ended up with a Tepig, even though I wanted Snivy. But thankfully, I fell in love with Tepig by the end of the journey. And after that, I chose Brokey as my next starter because by then I already had a grass type starter and a fire type starter. So I decided to go with a water type starter. And honestly, the way how I choose starters is kind of weird compared to any other Pokemon gamer. Most gamers, Pokemon gamers, would pick their starters based on their final evolution. In fact, if a starter looks ugly or has a typing they don't like, they'll be like, okay, I'm not gonna pick this Pokemon. Me, on the other hand, I mostly choose based on two factors. One, how cute it looks, and two, whether or not I pick that typing or not. So yeah, I'm a unique case. That was a toughie. So here's an interesting fact. At some point, Nintendo or Pokemon did a popularity roll to figure out who is the top 10 most popular Pokemon of all time. And within that list, Greninja was number 1. It beat all sorts of Pokemon, such as Charizard, Lucario, Mewtwo, and I think the reason why it became the most popular Pokemon of all time was because of the anime. Oh, double up, triple. Close. So yeah, the reason why I think Greninja was extremely popular was because of the anime. For those who aren't aware, as of the Kalos region in the anime was at its absolute peak when it came to storytelling and animations. And within the anime, Ash caught himself a Froakie, which eventually evolved into a Greninja. However, it wasn't a normal Greninja. It was a special Greninja that came around once every who knows how many years. It's basically a very special Greninja. And it had the ability to transform into a form that is now currently called Ash Greninja. And the form is so powerful that it is able to rival Mega Evolutions, which was kind of the strongest forms of Pokemon as of the moment, aside from legendary Pokemon. Can you not hit me for 1 second? That's so cheap!
Game. Continue.
I freaking hate this fight. I know there's not that many bosses, but I still hate it. Really?
Incredible.
9.8.
Congratulations. Game.
You're fucking with me. Incineroar.
3, 2, 1, go.
Alright. Next character is Chrom. This way. He is an Echo Fighter of Roy, and Roy plays like Barth to some extent. So his playstyle shouldn't be that hard to remember. Or, well, learn.
Ready? Go. Game.
Yeah, this will do. So, Chrom, another character from Fire Emblem, more specifically Fire Emblem Awakening, the same game as Lucina and Robin. So that means there are a grand total of 3 Fire Emblem characters that are from the same game. That may sound like a lot, but the thing is, both Chrom and Lucina are Echo Fighters. So if we want to get technical, there's only one Awakening character in this game, and the other two are just filler. You know what I find interesting about Fire Emblem? It is part of a genre that I don't play that much, or rather I haven't played until somewhat recently. Like, allow me to explain. When you're young and you start playing games for the first time, you would play a bunch of different games, right? Because at that point, when you're new to the gaming scene, you don't have much of a preference. And obviously, that's the same case for me. So I played a bunch of genres, such as platformers, collectathons, FPS, sandbox, etc., right? But it wasn't until when I first bought Fire Emblem Awakening on the 3DS, when I first played a strategy game, because up to that point, I've never played a single strategy game in my life. And to this day, technically speaking, I still haven't played that many strategy games. Aside from Fire Emblem, I've played like maybe 2 somewhat obscure strategy games. But other than that, I have not played strategy at all. Doing good. And I think, like, when it comes to the obscure strategy games I've played, they haven't scratched the itch that Fire Emblem can satisfy. In other words, I find it difficult to enjoy strategy games because of how high of a hurdle Fire Emblem introduced to me. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, Fire Emblem as a strategy game is so good, I find it difficult to enjoy any other strategy game. In fact, there's a really good reason as for why I can't enjoy any other strategy games, and it is because Fire Emblem has probably the best mechanic I've ever played, ever. And the mechanic I'm talking about is... Oh, hold up. I don't want to die. The mechanic I'm talking about is how if a character you have in your army dies, they are permanently gone. And surprisingly, whenever I played any other strategy games, they don't do that at all. And that kind of weakens like my interest in other strategy games. Allow me to explain in more detail. When you play any other strategy games, usually one of two things will happen. Either one, if you lose a unit. Sorry about that. A freaking airplane came by. What was I saying? Oh yeah.
Wow! Incredible!
One of two things will happen when you lose a unit in other games. One, you waste time and resources. So for example, let's say there is a unit that costs 1,000 points, right? And it takes a while to get that 1,000 points. If that unit dies, you essentially just wasted your points and time, and you gotta wait to build up the points again and get them back. In other strategy games, when a unit quote-unquote dies, they're essentially out of the battle for that battle, but in the very next battle, they're back. And there's usually some sort of consequences, such as no XP or such and such, right? In Fire Emblem, and this is why I have a love and hate relationship with Fire Emblem, if you lose a unit, they die permanently. As in, you will never see them ever again for the rest of the game, and it is your fault. And man, that is such a painful yet amazing mechanic.
Congratulations!
Cloud. Oh god, I'm gonna say something that might peeve people off.
Go!
Oh, that down air. Next up is the tiny captain himself, Olimar. Then there's also Alf.
Ready? Go!
Alright. Olimar from the Pikmin series. It is Nintendo's very own... Oh, nice. It is Nintendo's very own RTS genre, RTS series. And if you don't know what RTS stands for, it stands for real-time strategy. It is a genre where... I'll be honest, I am the least qualified person to talk about RTS, since the only RTS game I've ever played is Pikmin. The best way to describe RTS is you are commanding an army, not like Fire Emblem, but commanding an army trying to take down another army. It's not like Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem's more like strategy, turn-based strategy? Man, that's why this is why I said I'm not qualified to talk about it, because I genuinely do not know how to describe it. But to my knowledge, when it comes to what RTS games that I knew about, you basically command an army and you gotta manage multiple things, such as resources, positioning, map control, etc, etc. And the appeal of the RTS genre is seeing how much you are able to manage, how well. Basically, it's multi-managing the genre. As of currently, Pikmin has a grand total of 4 games. Pikmin 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's also a spin-off, but no one likes it. So I'm not gonna talk about it. I've played a grand total of 2 Pikmin games. Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 3. I have not played the first or 4th game. First game was released on the GameCube, so was the second one. The third one was on the Wii U, and the 4th game is on the Nintendo Switch. And if I remember, Nintendo released every single Pikmin game on the Nintendo Switch, so if you want to play them all, you can. Oh man, Olimar is really weird to play. He changes like every single game, it feels like. Master Hand. So here's a weird little fact about Pikmin. Well, for me. I first learned about Pikmin through a in-game game trailer. And let me explain what I mean by that. So, in the early days of gaming, developers used to put video game trailers in their own games. Like, you need to find it in the settings and such. And I first discovered Pikmin in Luigi's Mansion, because Luigi's Mansion had a trailer for Pikmin 1. Up tilt. Up tilt. Hey. I would give examples on in-game trailers, but Luigi's Mansion and Pikmin is the only one I can remember, or actually recall at all. I think the Rocket Power game had like What's that game called? It's something related to Juju Power. Yeah, no, yeah, Pikmin and Luigi Mansion's the only one I remember or recall at all, but I'm pretty sure other old games, we're talking like GameCube, PS2, and probably the original Xbox had in-game trailers. I don't know.
Wow! Incredible! Congratulations!
Oh, also, will I play Pikmin on the channel? Sure, why not? They're all on the Nintendo Switch, or on consoles that I can record, so might as well. Wario. Also, sorry for being all over the place. Olimar is just freakishly difficult to play for some reason. I could have sworn he was easier to play. Maybe it's because my head's still stuck on Brawl, because in Brawl he plays completely different. Like, for example, his jab, forward, tilt is different. The animations of his smash attacks are kind of different. Actually, up air is different.